Mike in California. Mike, you're on the air.
Thank you, sir. Are you there?
Yes.
Okay, sorry. It's how you disconnected. My only thought I could think of offhand, being a personal engineer, so to speak, is fill all the fissures up with cement and then drop a 1,000,000-pound weight over the son of a gun, see if that'll cork it up. Because if you cork it up and then it would just whiz out of the other cracks a lot harder. But that's a heck of a lot of pressure, sir. Otherwise, the only thing I could recommend is ignite it under the water and let it burn before it gets to the top.
Well, that's what a lot of experts said, was it should have been ignited the old-fashioned way, right after it started leaking. That way it would all be contained and just turn into carbon, carbon dioxide going into the atmosphere and a few other byproducts. Certainly not perfect, but better than what we're seeing now. But, yeah, what about the idea of, say, having a 1,000,000-pound weight that they then, a position over it and then drop on top of it? I'm no engineer, but, I mean, that might have an effect. But then, if it doesn't work, you've got oil coming out from beneath the weight, and it's even harder to get under there and take care of it.
All those oxygen and the hydrogen will burn underwater as well. If it's got enough oxygen to it, you could just burn it before it gets through the water and use the water as a filter. It would probably need to be filtered as well after it burnt, but at least it wouldn't be escaping into the atmosphere and just have the potential to get all the way around the globe.
Oh, absolutely. Well, I mean, it's just getting crazier and crazier because government doesn't know how to get rid of it, and now they're talking about a nuke, and I just can't imagine if they detonate a nuke down there and it just causes more fissures, and then instead of having one leak, it creates a bunch of other cracks, underground channels. You could have a mess many times worse, and instead of 500,000 or 1,000,000 or whatever it really is, 4 or 5 million, like some of the Lindsey sources are saying, then it could be 10 million, 20 million. I mean, it's crazy to talk about using nuclear weapons down there. And I sure hope they haven't hit some new strata of oil, some new mega strata, and that this sucker could go on for years. I mean, and can you imagine how government's going to say, listen, we got the solution. You pay Al Gore and the Rothschilds a big tax, and they'll wave an environmental wand, and see, we've got to get rid of the petroleum economy, and we've got to take control of society and make you all energy poor because of the oil spill, because of the oil spill, because of the oil spill. And how this is happening right on time for Obama. Yes, it's politically destroying him. It's going to politically hurt BP. But one thing I've found with the globalists is they will fall on the sword individually to give more power to the organization. In fact, here's a headline. As spill cost mounts, BP shares tumble anew. U.S. lawmakers want more compensation. Obama, Cameron to discuss issue. Appreciate the call, Mike. Good points. Lindsey Williams, what's your take on the idea he had for dropping a big weight on it?
A number of years ago, I was on the Trans-Alaska Oil Pipeline, and they put in that 800-mile pipe over an inch thick. 2 weeks ago, BP closed the Trans-Alaska Oil Pipeline. There's no oil flowing through it today. The reason being is that the abrasive substances in oil and the pig that they must run down that pipe from time to time to get out all the paraffin has so weakened the pipe, has broken it down to the point that it is so thin that it is almost like paper thickness in places, and the abrasiveness has destroyed the pipe, and they're going to have to replace the entire thing if they get any more oil out of Prudhoe Bay, Alaska. Now, the identical same thing is happening in the Gulf, except it's happening under pressures of 20 to 70,000 pounds, and the abrasiveness of that oil and what's coming up with it is eroding the thickness of that pipe so rapidly that if they wait a few more months to try to go down and do anything about it, they'll have no pipe left. I mean, this was a subject we didn't even cover before because there's still so much material here. But that very easily could happen, and that pipe is eroding by the minute.
Well, look what rivers do to create the Grand Canyon. Water cuts through solid rock over time. Imagine what oil, with all those chemicals just blasting out, is going to do to that pipe. And then it's going to really... But again, it looks like the pipe's already... the casing's already not intact because you've got all these other leaks coming up around there. This doesn't look good.
The casing appears to have ruptured at the time of the original blow because the pressure was so high. That's what it appears. You notice I use the word appears because we're getting these fissures as much as NOAA said up to 20 miles long. The furthest I've heard personally is 5 miles away. But these are being caused by other ruptures that are down in there somewhere.
Josh in Alabama, you're on the air.
Hey, Alex, thanks for taking my call. Just want to let you know, I was down in Gulf Shores, Alabama, yesterday, and there's a very large amount of tar balls all over the beach down there. Just want to confirm that for you. And also, there was a private company called Clean Harbor that was there. They were there. There's probably 10 guys on ATVs. And we spent probably 3 hours there, and I'm heading back out of town, north on 59. So 2 Humvees, probably 4 or 5 troops per Humvee. So you're asking...
no, we know military's down there. We're just curious if they're telling people to evacuate like some reports have said.
Nothing. No, it was just totally benign. They were heading north out of town, but... that's all we saw.
Now, do these tar balls look fresh? Do they have any crustaceans growing on them?
No, they're really liquidy. We had them smashed all on the bottom of our feet, and it was under the...
So they're new, yeah, because an old tar ball will have crustaceans and things growing on it. And I mean, I know that going to the beach over the years. So sounds like Lindsey said, it's coming out and getting semi-frozen and then congealing 5,000 feet down. I mean, it's just freezing cold. Anything else, Josh?
That's it.
Thank you, Josh, so much for that call. Let's talk to Mike in New Orleans. Well, boy, they got Katrina and now this. Mike, thanks for holding. Welcome.
Yes, thanks for taking my call. I write for an independent newspaper in New Orleans. I have 2 deep sources that have their feet on the ground. I will tell you what I have confirmed. What I have confirmed is that BP is in charge of everything. And when I say everything, I mean everything. They are in charge of the police. They are in charge of it all. They are and do have a complete media blackout on what's going on. They will not allow any cameras in. There's no confirmation yet on arrest, but they are threatening arrest. They have all of that area, all of the people in that area completely intimidated. Nobody's talking.
Well, 2 weeks
anybody.
ago, they were pulling up to CBS and ABC and local reporters with the Coast Guard saying, we work for BP under orders of BP, no videotaping beaches. So I guess BP is, instead of getting in trouble for this, they may become our new kings or something.
There's an army, I'm telling you, there's an army of BP thugs down there. So far, it's only been the Coast Guard and the local authorities that are working in conjunction with them. There has been no sightings of any military, but all from what I have just heard and all from the feeling that is going on, I can only speculate that...
Well, what are the BP... Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, I can only speculate, especially if a storm comes along, that we're going to be looking at mass evacuations from this area.
Now, what are the BP, you call them thugs, what are they doing? Just letting you know that they're in command and you're scum?
More than that. They are beyond the intimidating the workers into signing non-disclosure forms. They are reports, and this is confirmed, of them having the crews stand down as swaths of oil has washed ashore. This is confirmed.
So wait, they have the crews stand down and they let the oil come in?
Correct.
And do people ask why?
They're intimidated. They're scared to death.
But I mean, what's the feeling? Is this so Barry Soetoro, Barack Hussein Obama, President Hussein can get his environmental takeover? I mean, why let the oil come in? Why a month ago not let the locals put the booms in front of the estuaries? Why'd they let that come in?
Indeed. Again, confirmation that the BP people abandoned 44 boats that were ready to go out there and take and corral the first oil that was coming into the marshes. They just abandoned them as the oil.
Well, I want to continue with you, Mike. If you want to plug your independent newspaper, we'd like to have you down there as a reporter so we can talk to you. And I'm going to do more shows just on this now. I mean, I'm beginning to realize this is just getting worse and worse by the minute. But Lindsey, again, everything he's saying dovetails with what you've been saying.